Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a Dark Justiciar Shadowheart build in Baldur's Gate 3. Now Shar is her deity and her domains are the Death domain and Trickery, but Trickery's not that great. We'll be going with the Death domain. I'll be showing you a powerful multi-class that can get the most out of the Death domain cleric. So with this you get to choose a cantrip and we're going to go with the Bone Chill because it's the only way we can get Bone Chill, stop the target from receiving healing. And then we'll take the other two necromancy cantrips with our Bursting Sinew and Hold the Dead. And then we also got Sacred Flame there to cover any weaknesses. Now, what we'll be doing is a stat spread of something like this can work very well. Now, if we're later on in the game, we can add in the wizard, the Necromancer wizard, or the Blade Singing wizard if you want melee attacking or better spell casting, because we can't get Circle of Death, the best necrotic spell in the game. We actually can't get it as a cleric, so that is something we can use the wizard to allow us to get. And with the Necromancer wizard, we can heal ourselves back. It's actually extremely powerful if we combine those together. So we do have to dump a stat if that's the case, so dexterity or constitution, or you can use the intelligence circlet. There's 3 pieces of gear that will allow for this: the dexterity gauntlets in Act 1, the constitution amulet in Act 3, and the intelligence circlet in Act 1. So pick one of those and we're going to dump that stat. For this build, I'm going to use the constitution, so we'll take all those points and put them into intelligence just for better spell casting. If you're leveling up, I wouldn't worry too much about the intelligence, but into level 2, this gives us our Channel Divinity Touch of Death. This was whenever we do a melee attack, we can use our Channel Divinity to deal extra necrotic damage, which is actually really strong. But the cleric isn't really much of a melee attacker. However, I can show you some workarounds for that. We also get the Turn Undead, and we can prepare our spells, which we'll want to grab at least one healing spell, so Healing Word. Inflict Wounds is really nice because this actually counts as a Touch of Death enabled spell, so we can pop this and get that extra damage on it. I also like to have Command, and Bless is not a bad spell, and Sanctuary as well, but you can also throw in Guiding Bolt if you want. We're going to be going with the full evil route this day, so we'll be going with the Shar Spear of the Evening, but if you want to use different gear, I'll also be covering all that as well in this video. We also get new spells at level 3 here, with Hold Person being the top priority that we'll grab. Aid being another nice spell to do too if you'd like, because you can buff up your entire team's health. Once we hit level 4, we get ourselves another cantrip. Produce Flame can be pretty nice because you can pop this, it lasts until long rest, and when you're in the Shadow Curse lands, it'll give you some extra light. We'll also go with the Spiritual Weapon spell here, as that's a good bonus action, can daze targets if you select the Maul, which is the best version. I also like to take for the feat Alert for the +5 to initiative, or go with an increase to our Wisdom here for better spell casting, or Intelligence if you want to prepare more spells later on. We're just going to go with the Wisdom increase here. We do want to get in and cast spells as soon as possible, so Alert can be really useful. We also get the Animate Dead and Vampiric Touch spells here, and the ever-powerful Spirit Guardians. This is a really useful spell. You can also grab the Mass Healing Word if you'd like, or Revivify. Glyph of Warning's not a bad choice as well, but we got the Animate Dead there and Vampiric Touch with both. This will actually trigger the Touch of Death as well. Into level 6 here, we get our Inescapable Destruction. The spells that we cast will ignore resistances to necrotic damage, which is huge. So what will we want to do is use any type of necrotic damage. We don't have many options. We got the Vampiric Touch, we got Inflict Wounds, that's pretty much it. Now, we also can get Blight at next level, but that's not super powerful, and we can learn it from the Wizard as well. I guess we'll add in the Glyph of Warding there, because Shadowheart is a half-elf, so she can drop the Glyph of Sleep at her feet, and it'll put everyone near her to sleep. Here's where we get Blight, but I honestly do think that it's better to go with the Wizard at this point. Wizard and Clerics go together very well. Now, for the cantrips, we can take a whole variety of them. If you want to go melee, you can go with the Booming Blade there. That's really nice, but it's not exactly needed here. Mage Hand is nice because it can throw healing potions, giving you another way of healing the team, and also can throw water bottles if you have someone that's got lightning damage. Then we can take like Shocking Grass there to get away if a target comes up close on us. Minor Illusion being another good spell. Now we get a lot of options here, a lot of them. Thunder Wave, Magic Missile, Shield, Find Familiar are going to be our top priorities. Chromatic Orb is an okay one, and Long Strider as well, just for different buffs. And then what we'll prepare is always have Shield and Magic Missile ready. Thunder Wave or Find Familiar can be nice too. I like the Ravens to go around blinding targets. Level 2, now as I mentioned, we got, if you want to be more melee focused, we'll go the Blade Singing Wizard, because at level 6 you get the extra attack, so you can apply your Channel Divinity Touch of Death. I think the Necromancy makes for a better spellcaster though, because Grim Harvest, once per turn, if you kill a creature with a spell, you regain hit points equal to twice the spell level used, thrice if it's a Necromancy spell. Circle of Death can give you 18 health back. That's pretty crazy. Undead and Constructs are not affected by that. That's fine. We'll take a couple more spells here with Fog Cloud and Ice Knife, and then we'll just leave the prepared ones as such. But again, you can take the Blade Singing Wizard. Our choices won't change much. It's just when it comes to combat, you're going to do more melee and less spell casting. Now, once we hit level 3, we get some of the better spells with things like Scorching Ray. What's nice about this is with Scorching Ray, you can cast this, and it'll give you, if you have the Hat of Fire Acuity, upwards of a +10 to your spell save DC, so you're not going to miss any of your wizard spells or your cleric spells. Misty Step is also nice for the survivability. I like Darkness, but we can get that from the spear that we have here. And then for our next leveled spell, or for our prepared spells, I'd recommend grabbing and putting on this selection. So Misty Step and Scorching Ray are coming on. Level 4 gives us another cantrip, Ray of Frost, not a bad choice. And then we can also take something like the Mirror Image to increase our armor class by 9. Shadow Blade's nice if you're going melee focus, but we're not for this build. Clouded Daggers can be okay. But the thing is, with any of these spells, we're going to be able to prepare whatever we want from our scrolls. So that's not a huge deal. And we get full spellcasting level to learn Circle of Death. Now, actually at this next feat here, I think the best choice is the Dual Wielder. Hear me out on this. So, if you're going blade singing, go with an alert feat or a +5 to, or go with an increase your intelligence or wisdom. But with dual wielder, we can use a Shar spear, and then we can also use the Staff of Cherished Necromancy, which gives us a lot of buffs. We can see in darkness, we become unkillable, and the perfect dark justiciar. So you get a +1 bonus armor class when wielding 2 weapons. So we could use Viconia's Walking Fortress for a shield, but I think this ends up being better. We also get access to some of the best spells in the game. Take Counterspell for sure. I like Lightning Bolt too, but Fireball is another good choice. Just make sure you do take Counterspell, because you can't learn that one from a scroll, so we want to grab it, because Counterspell is extremely powerful. And at level 6, we get our Undead Thralls Animate. So whenever we use Animate Dead, we rise an additional corpse, and they're going to have additional health points equal to our wizard level and proficiency bonus added to the damage. And we also get the Animate Dead spell here, which we already got. Sleet Storm is another good spell if you want to use for crowd control. Haste is not a bad option as well. Haste can be extremely effective. And then for our prepared spells, we'll go with something like this, and then we'll add some more once we get to our scrolls. Now, I got the full Dark Justiciar outfit on, but as I mentioned, for our weapons here, if you're using the Blade Singing Wizard, just go with the Shadow Blade in your main hand. It's going to be the strongest version of the weapon. Then in your offhand, you can use Dolor Amaris for the increased critical hit chance. But the Staff of Cherished Necromancy, creature have disadvantage on saving throws against your necromancy spells, which is a lot of them. Life Essence Harvest. When the wielder kills a hostile creature with a spell, they greedily absorb its life essence. So with that, we can continually keep casting our Circle of Death. Now, another spell that I think is great is Cloud Kill. If you can get Hero's Feast from another teammate, you can have your entire team stand in a Cloud Kill and not be affected by it. It's not necrotic damage, but it's a good spell to have. And then with the Shar Spear of the Evening in the offhand, we get an advantage on saving throws while lightly or heavily obscured, which is huge. And then also we can't be blinded, and we get the Shar's Darkness. If it's in the main hand, you get the weapon attack, but we get a free darkness that we can use per turn. That's crazy. So unlimited darkness from Shar Spear gives us a lot of defensive options. Now, I like to have the crossbows here for the offhand extra attacks. I also have the Dark Justiciar Gauntlets, which gives a 1d4 bonus to saving throws. The Dark Justiciar boots suck. The Shadow Teleportation uses a full action, so we don't want to use those. I just headed on for thematic. The Disintegrating Nightwalkers is better with the bonus action Misty Step that you can get. And Reverberation is good too, so the Boots of Stormy Clamor can work well too. Dark Justiciar gives an additional 1d4 damage on necrotic on your attacks there. You also get a bonus action, Beckoning Darkness, which can be nice because the Heightened Necromancy can work well on that. But if we're really looking to min-max, I would recommend going with like the Helldust Gloves later on in the game, which will give us bonus to spell save DC. Luminous Gloves, if you want to use radiant damage and use Radiating Orbs. We're not going to focus on that for this build. If you're a melee attacker, the Gloves of the Battle Mage's Power is a great choice, but we could also go with the Gloves of the Bliggering Skies to further stack Reverberation if we want to be a massive debuffer, or we can also go with just the Reviving Hands, which is great for if we're going to be focused on healing and giving Blade Ward to the entire team. I'm going to go with the Helldust Gloves for just bonus to spell save DC, which we want because we need to land our shots. Now we have the Dark Justiciar half plate, which gives advantage on stealth checks and all these benefits. This isn't going to be the best armor choice. You can go with something a little bit different. The Armor of Agility will give us a higher armor class up to 23 there. We don't get heavy armor proficiency though. It's the only downside unless we're using the Helldust armor, which will give our armor class to 24, which is not bad. You can use the Robe of the Weave and use mage armor as well if you like, or even using a scroll of mage armor if you want to. But the this Armor of Agility here works well, and the AO die from Faerun Colors works perfectly because it gives you this really dark appearance. So I highly recommend using that. We also got the Cloak Protection. The Dark Justiciar Helmet is decent, saving throws against spells +1, increased critical hit chance, but we're not a melee attacker, so the best choice would be like the Hood of the Weave, or if we wanted to go with something like the Hat of Stormside's Power, if you're melee, the Helmet of Arcane Acuity, but the Hat of Fire Acuity is huge, as I mentioned, because you can get a +10 to spell save DC just by using Scorching Ray, which is actually pretty crazy. Now I also got the Ring of Mental Inhibition, which gives mental fatigue for 2 turns if a target fails a saving throw against our spells. Ring of Protection will give us a 23 armor class, but if you wanted to go with something else a little different, the Ring of Regeneration gives you some extra health. Ring of Free Action will prevent you from getting held down. Whispering Promise if you're going to be focusing on healing a bit more. And the Shadow Cloaked Ring if you're going to use the Blade Singer subclass. And don't forget to learn Circle of Death. It's going to be one of our most powerful spells to use here. And Globe of Invulnerability is another nice one to grab. Really, any damage spells that you don't already have are great. Then we can go into our wizard spells here and make sure that we do have our Circle of Death. And then if you got the, if you want to use Hero's Feast, Cloud Kill is a good choice as well. Cone of Cold, Ice Storm for the crowd control. Those are all really great options if you want to add something a little different to the mix. And Blade is another not bad spell since it is a necrotic based spell, so you can go ahead with adding that one in. And it's necromancy too, so it's just not a bad option to have. That 15 base DC is not great, but once we cast ourselves Scorching Ray, we can get that up to 25, so that's really good. And you can also add in the Hellrider Longbow to give yourself a +3 to our initiative, just to make sure that we're more likely to go first. As for turn 1 of combat, I would recommend, if you can, get your Spirit Guardians up before you go into a fight. And we got the necrotic damage version of it as well, which is quite nice too, so that can be good. We do want to focus on just being able to set up some extra damage. So again, Scorching Ray is something that we really want to pop off, because that's going to give us the extra spell save DC, so we don't end up missing any of our shots. Spirit Guardians is a really useful spell, so we're going to put this up first in the Ignoring Resistance version. I like to go with the level 5 one for the extra damage on the upcast there, but not super necessary. You can see there we're applying Reverberation. Oof, that was a tough opportunity attack to eat 17 damage. But you can walk into the range of them. It was only 8 damage, not really that great. But what we want to do is we want to set up any type of crowd control. Spirit Guardian kind of counts as a crowd control based spell, because with this we're able to apply the Reverberation and slow down enemies too, so it can be good. We can go around just popping that off. Oh, eating another opportunity attack. Shield will protect us, so that's not a bad thing too. But what we want to do is get our spell save DC up. So we got Command that we want to land. We're not going to drop Circle of Death there, as you're going to see. It's not going to have a high chance of success. Ice Storm is also a good one too, but we're going to go with a Scorching Ray here, trying to take out any of the targets that are lower on their health, and then just spreading around damage there. So that didn't take any of the out, but that got our spell save DC up a little bit as well. So now we got 21 there and 19. For some reason, I guess we missed a few of those shots. So that was not ideal. But we do have an offhand attack that we can make if we wanted to. And also we can go ahead with buffing the team or dropping a spiritual weapon, which is not a bad choice as well. And they just walked right into me and turned into a statue there. So that's one of the beautiful things about Spirit Guardians, is people will sometimes just run right into it and lose their turn because they just turn into a statue and die. And as mentioned, the hammer here has the concussive smash, so you're more likely to land hold person with this, or command, or, you know, it can get an opportunity attack. And I'm not sure what's happening here, because this corpse is like animated like it's alive. It's kind of funny, but they think they're slick running up this close to me without getting hit with the Spirit Guardians. And we just gave them a taste of their own medicine there. So boom, a little extra damage. Now we need to build up our Arcane EQ even further here. So we're gonna have disadvantage on this. So we'll go after a target here that's like this target that's dazed. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and apply the Circle of Death. So wow, only one of those hit. That's insane. I don't know why I'm missing all these, but that's just the luck of the draw. We'll then go ahead with our Circle of Death here and hope for the best. I have an issue with mods not showing actually the chance of hit for some reason, so just make sure you're outside of your bubble there, and then we'll pop that down because it's an extremely powerful spell, and that was enough to take out a couple targets there. It was perfect. For some reason, our Staff of Cherished Necromancy, it should have grabbed the Life Essence there, but it didn't. It normally does. I don't know what happened there. Maybe because I had the bow out, but we should be able to then get some extra spells and be able to cast that repeatedly. This right here is exactly why we want to have Counterspell, just because commands can be devastating to get hit with, so we want that not to happen. So we'll go ahead with Blade, because they're going to have a disadvantage on their save against it. And Blade actually is not a bad damage spell. They got full health, so that's not going to take them out. 48 health. That's okay. We got a haste on this character, so I can go ahead with another one. Boom, there we go. We got the knockout. And there we finally got the Life Essence. Perfect. That's what we wanted. So with Life Essence, this allows you to free cast a Circle of Death. So what we want to be doing in combat is essentially continually casting your Circle of Death to get the Life Essence back, and then cast it again. Every time that you take out a target with this, you get the Necromancy Wizard subclass feature, which gives you 18 health, which is actually quite a bit, just to keeps you alive. We got Spirit Guardians up to pop down some extra damage. We got Blight for a single target spell. It pretty much covers everything. It's not going to be as strong as like a Tempest Domain Cleric. It's my favorite Shadowheart build in the game, but this works very well too. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. We got ourselves this undead friend here. I'm not sure what ended up causing that to happen, but I think that's hilarious. So subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you have an incredible day, and we'll catch y'all in the next video.